Is this on? This is on. Oh, fabulous. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for this panel, Catch 22. Thank you so much for Dubai Watch Week for hosting us. Really excited to be on stage with these two lovely gentlemen, Mr. Edouard Meylan and Mr. Antonino Aiello. We're going to talk about, well, the topic of the talk is Catch 22, which is not necessarily as illustrative as you might like. We're going to talk about timelessness, we're going to talk about brands, and we're going to talk about how companies have to move. How do they have to strategize? What do they have to execute on in order to maintain a timeless identity? Or, you know, if it even is necessary to maintain a timeless identity in today's market. So can we start, actually, because I think more people are probably familiar with your work, Edouard. Antonino, would you mind starting off with just like an introduction of what you do at 100% Capri?
I'm Antonino from Capri, and I founded 100% Capri 25 years ago. And we get to the linen world and take this brand to all the best location, the resort between Saint-Barth, Portofino, Saint-Tropez, and Mykonos. So the market will see the linen at that time wrinkled, and I don't see wrinkled, because when we think linen, we always think is wrinkled. And from that point, we have the chance to dress all these beautiful people on the resort and when they have, you know, free time on vacation.
So, because we've had a few conversations about this already, my understanding as a newcomer to your brand is you're creating beautiful linen things for men and women, really aimed at a very tasteful, or not always very tasteful, but a high-end customer who's looking to develop their taste. And they come to you. And a lot of your business not only is about the fact that you're very summer-focused, very hot weather-focused, but you're also very focused on the right location. As you said, you created basically a 100% summer collection. Isn't that correct?
Yes, it is correct. It was a miss that 25 years ago, I was feeling the people in nighttime, they dress up. And for lunchtime, this beautiful location, they were looking like just go out of the bed. So, and especially all these new internet guys start from who create internet, Jim Clark and Google, Microsoft. They come to Saint-Barth 25 years ago, they make the first billion, and there were two locations, Aspen for the winter and Saint-Barth for the summer. And they meet me, I see these guys, they wear a beautiful t-shirt with a shark and a short. And when I sell this linen product to them, I not just sell the product, but when they come back to the boat, they say, wow, how beautiful you are, Jim. How beautiful you are, Bill. So they start to remember me. And it was this the connection, not to just sell product to the customer, but to make the customer better. And this create feeder to the brand, and they start to create interest on the market. So this was a great transaction.
Fabulous. Okay, and Edouard, can you give us a potted history of H.Moser? Because it's a very long history. In a way, an hour is not even enough.
Yeah, Moser, I mean, well, we've been in charge not for so many years. We've been in charge for 12 years. But actually, we're going to celebrate 200 years of Moser in 2028. So it's going to be a big party. I hope you're all invited. Big celebration. But yeah, the brand started on the eastern part of Switzerland. We're based in Schaffhausen. In 1828, H.Moser, family of watchmakers, decided to create his brand. He traveled to Russia at that time. He actually established the brand in St. Petersburg. Been very successful, I think. In his lifetime, in the 19th century, they produced about 500,000 watches. They developed 70 different calibers. Sold all over the world, but especially on like the Tsar of Russia, Nicolas I, and became extremely successful. It was in the hands of the family only that generation and a little bit of the next. Then it came into the hands of different entrepreneurs. The brand struggled a little bit in the quartz crisis. It's difficult for us to find watches from that era, from the 70s, 80s, 90s. But we have watches from the rest of the history of Moser in our museum in Schaffhausen. And then early 2000, the great-grandson of Heinrich Moser, together with entrepreneurs, ex-IWC people, they decided to relaunch the brand. They developed a beautiful manufacturer. They capitalized on the history, developed some amazing products, including one that is become iconic, which is our perpetual calendar. But they ran into some financial issues, and in 2012, my brother, who's sitting over there, and myself, we had the opportunity to take it over, not exactly knowing what we would do with it, but where we took the risk, and it's been 12, 13 now, amazing years in rebuilding this brand, and with quite some success.
And, I mean, obvious question, but do you think of what Moser makes today as a timeless product? No pun intended.
I would say not all of it. We don't think always in timeless. We have certain products which we consider timeless, where we think like these are watches we want to be part of the collection forever. But at the same time, luxury is a little bit different than, I think there's certain things that we want to be more for the moment. We like to have like capsules, elements of surprise that might work today, but not tomorrow. And I think that's something that people recognize and expect from Moser. They want to be, they wanted us to create maybe the unexpected, and sometimes those unexpected elements are built on things that might be true today and won't be true tomorrow. And yeah, that's part of the formula for us. For Moser, it doesn't work for every brand, but if I look at certain product, like a Streamliner Rose Gold Vanta Black, for me, that's a timeless product. Or even something like this that we launched today. I think when I think about the design, I don't see many things that we would need to change. And I think in 50 years from now, people will still look at it and be like, wow, this is a beautiful product.
Yeah. I mean, it's unknowable to a certain extent, right? The nice thing about watches is they do last a very, very long time. You can still find Moser watches from 100 years ago, 150 years ago, intact and operating. But where people's tastes are 50 years, 100 years now is always a tough one, right? We just serve ourselves.
But just looking at 20 years, 2005 since we launched the relaunch of Moser, and I look at the Endeavor Perpetual Calendar, and it's still amazing. It's still a beautiful watch. Yeah. So already 20. There's not many, especially in the independents. It's not always easy to create those kind of, as you said, timeless products. But I think there's certain codes you can play with. As soon as you go into too many bright colors, then the risk is to be more seasonal or into become more of a fashion product. Yeah. But we need a little bit of both.
I see. And for you, Antonino, like the timelessness of linen, because you've changed the definition of linen as well. Like the way linen was perceived when you first started till today is different.
Yes, for sure it's different, but we change on the quality, okay? We dedicate a lot of love, passion, okay? This for sure, we change, okay? The linen was positioned on the market, very low products. And some of the office, when they research, when we start to do to the e-commerce, I remember, they say 99% of the market look at for linen shirt for $49. You sell your linen shirt to $690. So we talk about this already more than 10 years ago. I say, how we go to the e-commerce with this price? And the product still is timeless. We never, no one day we putting shirt on sale and not department store. This was the first thing on the company. We have a great partner, like in Dubai. We have Sadiqi family. And at the moment, with 3 beautiful shops, 3 beautiful locations. And Nadam is my partner 12 years. And soon we open number 4 in the most successful beach club in Dubai, Sea Rain from Gaia. And still the product is timeless. What do we change? We change the love, the position, and the quality. I can say maybe today, yes, the last 2 years, I change, and I'm going to take to the market soon. I take 3 iconic material. In one point, I feel the linen come very trendy, and of course, when you are the leader, everybody start to copy, okay, from every position of a market, from the low to the high. They start to look at you. I say to my team, doesn't work anymore like this. We look at for long-term business, and it's time to change. And the company 2 years ago was make a big number, and they say, why, boss, you want to change? I say, no, we have to stop everything now. and it's the time to change. So I take 3 iconic fabric, which is the velvet, terry, and jeans. And with my team, we take to the linen world, so which coming in 2026 soon. So the product still is timeless, but it's just an adjustment of innovation and quality. So that's it.
So I don't know how many of you folks are clothing people. Just to give you a little bit of context, like when it comes to developing new types of cloth, it's really not such an easy thing because you actually have to start working, especially with linen, from a raw material level. You know, you have to go down to the linen crop and be looking at the breeds of linen you're using before it goes to the fabric mill, and they're developing it into a yarn and into a cloth, and finally ends up in Antonino's hands as a product. And you have a great development partner as well, which I think really helped you kind of raise the level of the linen you do.
Absolutely. One of our partner on development is Loro Piana, which Loro Piana start on textile. This was the first business and coming after in retail. But the DNA of the company of Loro Piana is really dedicated of this beautiful cashmere, cotton, and linen. And Sergio, before passed away, was completely in love with my passion and the vision of linen and take me to the factory. And in the retail, of course, we have a markup different, but on that kind of industry and manufacture of textile, which is million and million of a meter of cotton, cashmere, and linen, the markup is really like 2%, 3%. So it was difficult, still today, very difficult to create an innovation and department of innovation where there is people with a vision and passion and dedication. So thanks all together, we, with Loro Piana and with this beautiful company, with these beautiful, nice people, with great know-how, we create, linen for all the market. Okay, our first mission is to change the linen market. So 100% Capri, of course, but our mission is to educate the market and give a chance to other brand and design like a pilot brand, which is 100% Capri, 360 grade on the linen, from men collection, from woman, home, lifestyle, yacht, private plane. So we take the linen everywhere where people like it. And this we can give the possibility to the market and design, to see the linen different. And if we see the number, after COVID, many brands, they were obligated to use sustainable material. And flax of linen actually, you don't need any irrigation. The plant grows without water. So 80% of the production is actually in Europe. And many brands start, especially in the brands where they were in stock market, they were obligated to use sustainable material. And in the summer, linen is the #1 sustainable, of course. They start to use it more and more, and the number after the COVID was like 300, 400% more, and we were very exciting and happy with this actually. So more linen, more market, better for our company, for everyone, of course. And this, of course, is different over the watch, which there is many beautiful company here, but how I say, I see the linen different 25 years ago, and company really, and design, it's more than a company, it's the design they create. It's very difficult material, fabric, and the market thing is wrinkled, it's too comfy, it's not sexy, and the new generation today is different, because the new generation discover already a beautiful quality linen, so they really project to wear linen in the summer between Ibiza, Mykonos, Saint-Tropez, the party, beach club. But the past generation, it was different approach on the linen. So the good news, we have, good window for the future on the linen market.
That's great. Edouard, let's touch on design a little bit, because I think Moser really excels in not just design, but also collection management. You have the Endeavor, you have the Streamliner, you have the Pioneer, And I think you always try to balance what's coming out at which price points for which types of customers. Can you talk a little bit about your thinking when you're putting these collections together?
Well, yeah, I think first of all, it's important to understand we make watches we want to wear ourselves. So when people ask me who's your target customer, I want pretty much every watch I make to be a watch that I would be proud to wear myself. So I'm kind of the target, or we are the targets with Bertrand. Now, the way when we inherited or started taking over Moser, it was very classic, elegant, and to be honest, a little bit dusty. The positioning of Moser, we had round watches, silver dials, black white gold or rose gold, and black croco strap. So not very different from what other brands would do. And we did the analysis where we put like a Calatrava, a Patrimony, a Saxonia, and a Moser, removed the logo and put them next to each other, and nobody in the team could tell which one was ours. It was like, we're going to work on that so that we can actually create something that people can identify to.
Yeah.
And one day, maybe if we do the same exercise and remove the logo, then we can still recognize it is a Moser. In the meantime, we decided to remove the logos, and people seem to recognize it's a Moser. But for that, we had to define extremely precise codes. What I mean by codes, there's aesthetic codes. So we have the way we look at the hands, the way we look at the shape of the cases. The dial is the obvious one. I think a lot of people recognize the Moser dials, but also the way we finish the movements, the type of the way we cut the movements between the different bridges, the small moustache for our escapement, and all those elements were defined as what do we want to find in every single collection. And also functional design, in the sense of how do we want to treat complications? How do we look at a complication and make it the Moser way? And the element, I think, of success is based on the perpetual calendar. We had the perpetual calendar when we acquired the brand. We didn't develop it. It was developed by our predecessors. But it was a genius development because they looked at the perpetual calendar in a very different way from anybody else. They reduced it to the essence of that complication. And when we looked at it and analyzed the brand, we said, okay, how do we, now if I want to make a chronograph, this is my benchmark. This is where I need to go. So we defined the functions and the way we treat complications based on the perpetual calendar, and saying we need to go back to the essence of every single function. So when we developed a miniature repeater, we removed everything, just have the hammers visible. And that became a little bit of our signature. So we have those aesthetical codes. We have the functional codes, and that's what makes, I believe, the collection coherent between the different lines, because people can identify and say, oh, this is Moser, even though they are slightly different. One is more sporty, and the other one might be more elegant. Because also, many times when we travel the world, we go and see many stores with multiple brands, and I have sometimes a hard time understanding within the same brand, in the same window, how all those watches fit together. So that was the reflection for us. Now, how do we balance between the different brands? There are times where, we see the recent years, integrated steel bracelet has been a big thing, and a lot of brands have been going in there, and we did. I mean, with the Streamliner, we definitely benefited and surfed that wave. But we always said we don't want to be dependent on one watch. Our dad worked many years for one big brand around here that has been desperate for years, even though they've been extremely successful, to find something else than their iconic product. And we said, we have three collections, so let's make sure we don't become dependent too much on the Streamliner. So we always said, like, when we launch a new movement or we have a strong innovation, then let's try to launch it with something else with the Streamliner to try to keep it balanced between the three collections. And we never know. I think we've started to feel a little bit the market going back towards more classic, elegant watches. So it's always good to have that as part of your offering.
Do you think your customer comes to you brand first or watch first? Like, do people come to you thinking, I want to buy an H.Moser, now I just need to decide which is the model of H.Moser, rather than I want to buy a sports watch and I'm going to go to a Streamliner?
I think for many years, people were buying a product. In the beginning, it was like, I want the perpetual calendar because as part of my collection, it's a must-have. I believe we still have some people who come like this, and I need to have a Streamliner because I have a Nautilus, I have a Royal Oak, and that's, for me, another potential iconic product. But I think we see more and more, and that's, for me, the biggest compliment I have had since we took over. We have people who now buy in the brand, and I have one guy, and I mentioned it to quite a few people, one person, I can't remember who it is, who came to me, I think last year, a couple of years ago, and said, Edouard, the watch you just launched, I don't like it.
but I love the fact that you did it. And that's, for me, that's a statement of somebody understanding the brand and not just liking the product. And that, I mean, my dream or our dream has always been to create a brand, and you never know at what point you become a brand, and you're more than just a product. When you're an independent brand, usually you are just a creator of products, and your curse is every year to create another amazing product so you can sell again to the same kind of crowd. But at some point, maybe there's this tipping point where you become a brand, and I think it happened to Moser a couple of years ago, maybe. At least those kind of comments were, for me, the biggest recognition of the hard work of our team, and people recognizing that it is coherent. We have created a little bit of a culture, of a community, and somebody saying, I don't like that product, but I like it, the fact that you made it was the biggest compliment I ever had.
That's a great comment from a customer. Antonino, what about for you? Because, linen shirts, in a way, are a commodity good.
Yeah.
But you've really managed to bring it to a whole new level. What do you think?
What I think about quality, about design?
Let me put it this way. It seems like, based on our conversations we've had so far, it's not so much you have timeless products. It's not so much a company can have a timeless product. It's more like you need to have a timeless company. And then the products come from that. Like, you need people to have a recognition for your brand first before your product can even be close to considered timeless. And it seems like you've done that also, because people, when they come to 100% Capri, it's because they recognize the strength of 100% Capri that they buy this beautiful linen shirt.
This was based actually on focus on one fabric. I think the business in general, in the watch market, in every business, focus and discipline is two elements very important. And this focus gives a chance to the company to create an identity. And today, like you said, you ask how client reorganize like 100% Capri and the linen and that level of position or market. It's the dedication and the focus for 25 years, 7 days to 7 days, create a company with a cycle summer for 12 months year round. In this moment, we have all these beautiful locations close between Saint-Tropez, Mykonos, Capri. But we have a great business here in Dubai and Miami and St. Barth, South Africa with the Graf Diamond and beautiful Stellenbosch. So there is important shop, an important part of the season, which is still summer. So this gives the chance to grow with the team, so not just to have a business 6 months when it's hot or 6 months when it's winter, and to fiddle the client, okay, and to create an international company. So the client travel, many people go from beautiful place to another beautiful place, and they meet your brand for all year round. So this was, even was very important for us.
So what you're saying is the choice of your locations was very important for you.
Absolutely. All the prime destination, and this part of a lifestyle too. And on this location between Saint-Tropez, Ibiza, Mykonos, Saint-Tropez, we have the chance to open in the beautiful Four Seasons, which is the trophy asset of the Four Seasons worldwide in Florence. And the GM, he called me and they say, all my big customers ask me, where is in Florence 100% Capri? And there is no 100% Capri. So before was the computer room where, like the meeting room in the small where you connect. People still don't have phone. And this. So I say, this room we don't need anymore. And with a beautiful alfresco, it looks like church. And they say, I can give you this place for 3,000, like very low. And actually, the vice president, short story long, I'm sitting with Nada at Four Seasons in Dubai. And we have a beautiful lunch where we have a shop too. And the vice president, which take care of all the operation worldwide for season, coming to the table and say, I'm very upset with you. And I say, oh my God, what I did? This GM, they don't understand nothing. I say, what? If it's for 3,000 a day, I not give you this beautiful shop. And actually, we pay 3,000 a month, so it was very old contract. He said, for 3,000 a day, I don't give you this shop. So the strategy of the location was not just the resort, but in Stellenbosch with a rough diamond, when you work inside of this beautiful vineyard with the art, diamond on the left, 100% Capri linen on the brand. This is part of the strategy to create a brand. So there were moments where we decide to open, I decide to open in location where the client, they can meet the brand on his own words between the Four Seasons, Hotel de Russie in Rome, South Africa, and other locations. So,
Edouard, do you ever think about that sort of thing? Like about the location of H.Moser geographically?
Well, in many different ways, yes. Of course, we want to, as the same way we want to edge our odds with different collections, we want to be in many different markets. And I mean, we see in years like this where, you know, certain markets are tougher than others. It's good to be well diversified. We think in terms of continents. We have America is about 30% of our business, Europe around 30 as well, and Asia as well, and then Middle East about 10%. And that helped a lot in years like this. But I think in terms of location, in terms of opening boutiques, yes, we do. I think when we opened the first boutique, and you know it really well because it's close to yours on the Heritage Road in Hong Kong, it was very important to us that we wanted the first one to be a case that we could sell to others. And it should be the benchmark of the level of the boutiques. And we decided to, I mean, we have many joint ventures, but the first one is a franchise because we couldn't have access such a good location without a partner. So yes, for us, we think in terms of image, in terms of positioning, in terms of perception, that location is extremely important. Same thing with Watches and Wonders. Next year, we're moving in Watches and Wonders into a new location with the bigger historical brands, and I think for me, it's a huge, for us, it's a huge investment, and people have said, you really need it. I think where we want to go with the ambition we have, yes, I think the perception is very important. But also when we moved into Formula One, that's all about perception. And when you build a brand, perception is essential.
Now, what about customers? What about the age of customers, the demographics of your customers? You know, like for you, Antonino, do you have a customer in mind when you're putting a collection together, like an age or a type or a demographic?
we have a family customer. Okay, vacation, the main business of our brand, of course, is resort. Is the time when the family, they are all together, no? If you are in London or New York, it's a busy city, it's completely different, you know, way to shopping and to tourists too. It's completely different. On this location, you meet the customer with a completely different vibe. And people, they're very relaxed. All the family, they are together. And we see dress up from the grandfather, the father, the kids, the mama, and everybody dressed in linen. It's a moment of a picture. It's a moment of family. It's a moment of stay all together. So we always, in the company, look at this picture. We have to dress, make these people more happy when they are in vacation. Maybe they make luggage in Canada, I don't know, some other place in the world. And the first time come to Capri, and when they open the luggage, they say, maybe this is not right. And our mission is to putting them together in this beautiful picture, make them comfortable, and enjoy the vacation. So this is always we see in this way.
I mean, I think that's a really important part of timelessness too, is the fact that something can span a few generations, right? Like with Moser, the idea of a watch that can go to the son, that can go to the grandson, it's kind of a beautiful thing.
It is. At the same time, we believe that you buy a watch for yourself. And for us, we think when we relaunched Moser, we had a very, very old community. And then we started, a lot of people would say, looked at Moser being a little bit of a difficult child. We were a little bit provocative. I think we were like, like teenagers playing a little bit with the elbows, trying to position ourselves. I mean, we see it here. I mean, there's what, 90 brands around here? Nobody needs another brand. Why Moser? So we need this emancipation phase in a brand. And I think that was very interesting for us because some people perceived us as clowns. Some people perceived it as mavericks, very different ways. the clear reaction was we started attracting a much younger community, much younger crowd. Not everybody could afford a Moser. I saw a lot of analysis or studies where they would position the typical clientele of watch luxury brands, and we were always on the far left with the youngest crowd. And I think in the last 12 years, all those people that were relatively young have grown up with us. But also we became a little bit maybe young adults, not teenagers anymore, and settled down. We found our positioning. We need less to play with our elbows. But the key result, I think, nowadays is a lot of, I mean, we sell mainly to men. We see a lot of men, they want to look younger. And even if they buy a watch for their kids, but most of them, they buy for themselves. I think they want a watch that talks to them. They don't want to buy the watch that their father or grandfather would wear. And I think that's where we found the sweet spot for Moser, which is, yes, we're traditional. We're almost 200 years old. If you look at the movements, the finishing, the way we make, we grew up in this industry, and we have a lot of respect for that. But at the same time, I think there's nothing boring about the watches. And that's what people look at Moser. They want, yes, an elegant, traditional watch, but not a boring one. And I think that attracts the younger generation, obviously, but also the older as well, because you always want to look a little bit younger. So, as I said, the difficulty is to stay relevant, and for that you need to stay attuned with the moment and look a little bit into the future as a management, as owners, but also build a team, a core team around you that can give you the feedback from the market, from the trends, so that you can implement it for future products.
It's funny listening to both of you talk. Like, there's certain things that you have that the companies have in common. That rebellious attitude, especially at the beginning, seems pretty important to both of you. You know, for you, like shaking up the perception of linen. For you, just elbows out, trying to find a spot for Moser in a competitive marketplace. Yeah. You know, and I guess it's like a trial by fire, right? Yeah. Because you do those things because it's a matter of survival. And if you can't make it, then we wouldn't be sitting here on this stage having this conversation at all. You know, so I guess it is kind of an important aspect of a timeless brand.
A brand is like a human being. It goes through different phases.
Yeah.
And if you're not careful, you die. You need to evolve, you need to grow, you need to, if you stand still, it's like anything else, you will die.
Do you think about succession planning, or do you think that's too far out?
Me?
Antonino?
Section. Me?
Yeah.
It's too far. I have 4 beautiful daughters. So, and my mission is to deliver this company to these 4 girls, connect with the world. So, and this is my motivation every day between artificial intelligence today and all the innovation and everything. So to make to the next generation a company which is connected with the world. So this we work every day for this. So, and
would you expect them, assuming you even expect anything, would you expect them to try and maintain the design language, to maintain the philosophy, or for them it's however they want to do it, however they think they should change it?
For sure they go to change. The world is change, you know. And today I think we have the biggest change. We live this moment of a big change, you know, of artificial intelligence. And it's the biggest invention of the human from day one. And artificial intelligence go to change the way to work, the way to live, the way to grow company. And I think it's a good change. It's be a very good change. Okay, to make a quality product, we need the time, okay? And artificial intelligence go to give us back a lot of time. And I expect change, to answer your question, I expect change from my kids too. To see the company different, absolutely. I want they go to change. I want the change. I don't want to keep the company the same. So I want they take the vision inside the company, how they see the market, how they see the consumer, how they see the lifestyle, how they see, actually I'm waiting that day, you know, to see and to live that exciting moment, how my 4 daughters see, the future of 100% Capri. I hope they won't continue. So.
I mean, 100% Capri is also very tied to just elegant locations in the world. And so it'd be interesting to see, by the time your daughters grow up and are ready to take on the business, what are the new elegant locations of the world? Because if we were to go back 50 years, Dubai is a wonderful city, but I don't think people thought of Dubai in the same way 50 years ago.
Of course. Yeah.
And for you, Edouard?
It's a good question. I think a few years ago I would have never thought about that. Now time is slowly changing. I think another thing we have in common. I also have 4 kids. My brother is 3, so that's 7. In line also, we have a sister. She's also an investor in the company. She has 2. So hopefully there's going to be some interest in our business. Now, yes, 15 years from now, we'll look at retirement. So I feel like I'm getting at the middle of my time at Moser, and we have a big milestone coming in 2028. It's the 200 years. But more importantly, we're building the new manufacturer. We're doubling the size. It's a historical building that we're renovating. It's going to take another 3 years to renovate it on the Moser Square with a view on the biggest waterfalls in Europe. It's an amazing opportunity for us. But for me, it's kind of as we work on it, it's kind of, I know I'm creating something that will outlive us. It will be something that whoever runs this company, being my kids, my brother's kids, or somebody else, will probably use it as their tool to continue to grow this brand. So I find it super interesting now to think that we kind of, creating a little bit of a legacy through this project, and makes me super excited when I think that 20, 30, 40 years from now, probably somebody is going to be sitting in our office and running this and maybe looking back at what were they thinking at that time and why did they do those crazy movies or whatever. I find it super interesting. Now about our family, there's no pressure. I think we'd love to keep it independent. That was the dream of and is still the dream of our father to have his own brand. He was running brands for others. We thought that we would have the Meylan brand one day, but Moser came into the picture and now the rest is his history. So I hope we can keep it 100% independent as it is right now and continue to grow and be successful and be one of the strong contenders for the future of the Swiss watch industry. But if our kids are not interested and they want to do something else, good for them. As long as they have a passion and somebody else can take it over, then we'll see. Maybe they'll stay as shareholders and sit on the board, or maybe they'll be in the operations. I cannot decide for them. I just hope we can create a sound brand with clear image, with an amazing manufacturer and a very clean history so they can work with whoever they are.
Today when I meet Edouard for the first time, we introduce each other and he said, Edouard, when you start your business 200 years ago. Wow. I say 25, I feel yesterday, so I was very 200 years is just admire, this passion and all this generation. So, congrats, really.
I've done 12 years.
I love what you mentioned also about just imagining what people were thinking when those early products came out. Because the human experience doesn't really change, right? We eat, we sleep, we reproduce. That will never change.
Yeah.
And so probably like their patterns of thinking weren't that different from ours. It's just their circumstances were different. Their physical circumstances were different.
That's for sure. But it's funny, when we took over Moser, I remember reading the biography of H.Moser, some of the letters he wrote back then, trying to understand a little bit what was he thinking. I mean, in a way, you have a certain responsibility when you take a brand over a brand like this. We have an amazing history, and we need to find a way to stay connected and not just say, since 1828. We could have done that. But I think it's more interesting to understand 200 years ago, as you said, what were they thinking? What was the idea? H.Moser was an entrepreneur. He was a pioneer. He was somebody who was exploring and trying things. And in a way, that was very inspiring to us because we continue as a brand to think, okay, it's part of what we are, is trying new things. We go into worlds. I mean, you're talking AI. We explored the blockchain, Web3. We did things where people are like, what are you doing? We did a connected watch this year for Formula One, which for a watch brand that sells in average watches at $40,000 is quite unexpected. But at the same time, it's
what we're all about. I think being an independent brand doesn't just mean you're independent in as a shareholder. I think it's also having being independent in the way you think, in the way you create, the way you push boundaries. And if it can contribute to the industry by going all the way into that, I think then there's a reason why there is a brand like Moser. And we will continue to do that. And the main reason is because H.Moser, our founder, was like that.
That's great. So the brand's philosophy has basically stayed the same. And I suppose, Antonino, for you too, you would hope your philosophy, your daughters grow up with you, it sounds like you're very close to your family. You want to pass that philosophy to them too, right?
It's actually they help me. It's my best for my company. They're really helping me, my 4 daughters, because they give me the chance to connect with the moment, you know, how to live. I listen and I see what they look at, and this is a big opportunity. So to keep the company, everybody, to keep a company young and with the energy and connect it 360 degrees. This is one of the most important things. You can never get your company tired and sit. I'm impressed here of all these beautiful brands, how still they create such beautiful things, you know, this major house. And this is big motivation for us. And our kids, where we live 24/7 round, and they love, they dress, they wear your product, they wear your watch, they wear our linen. So this is, we work for this, you know, we work for this moment.
We all want to connect with people, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for a really wonderful conversation. We have a little bit of time left. I just wanted to see if there's any questions from the audience. Please, you first. You just have to yell it out, I guess. Oh, wait, we do have a microphone. Excellent.
Hello.
If you want to stay close, you can come and sitting here.
Thank you. Thank you. Such a wonderful conversation, gentlemen. Thank you. And I'm curious, my background is in social media, and so I'm curious as to how that plays into your marketing strategy. What are you planning? How do you create the hype? How do you maintain the timelessness? I'm so curious.
Antonino, you first, please.
Social media, picture, Instagram, TikTok. Actually, we are a little bit spoiled and lucky in the same moment. Always I say, you know, everybody come to Capri and somewhat. The first things they make a picture. And all these people, you know, most of the time they dress 100% Capri. So we have this, they generate this spontaneous marketing, you know, for us. But today, social media, it's everything, for sure. It's one very important asset for our brand, because the brand, the people, they have to hear, they have to see, they have to, you know, move out of the way, you know, and to connect this picture with the Capri, this beautiful Capri. I say always Capri, but it's not just Capri. For me, it's the easy one. With Saint-Tropez, Mykonos, Portofino, Dubai, and all these beautiful locations with our products. So, of course, thanks to the social media, make our product much better. You know, much looks good. You know, it's like wow. People. So social media is a big help. It's a big help. Big help. Thanks to exist.
Edouard, you've run some pretty impressive social media campaigns too.
We
as
do.
well as starred in a few.
I think social media helped a lot independent brands and Moser, especially looking back 2012, 13, where a lot of the major brands were not there yet. So for us, we always saw it as a way to get closer to our customers. A lot of people think like digital world was a barrier towards the community. I think on the contrary, it helped us get into a dialogue with our community. We have big fans around the world. Most of them I never met, but I answered their messages. I interacted with them through pictures, through instant messages and stuff like that. I think history of watchmaking, which if you go back 100 years ago, people would travel to Switzerland, to Geneva, or to Paris to order a watch, wait 6 months, go back to the same atelier, get the watch delivered. It was a one-to-one human relationship. And to some extent, we lost that a lot. I think social media brought us closer to our customers. If you use it right, you can engage, you can dialogue, you can get feedback, you can learn from your customers. you can get those viral effect because you have a good campaign and or a great picture and people share it with their friends. You get these people who are first your customers but become your ambassadors. And I think that's if you can understand that and use it wisely, it's such a powerful tool. Yeah. We have an amazing fan base for Moser. We try to entertain them, to create, as you said, like some interesting campaigns. Some people don't understand sometimes we do, for example, right now we're running the ugly sweater campaign at Moser, which started as a crazy idea, as like, hey, why not make something fun once? And then it dragged so many people towards us to a point where I have people contacting me and telling me, like, how many watches do I have to buy to get a free sweater? That's the power of those things. We have thousands of people registering every year to get a sweater with a kind of a, I don't know, it's a dog with, I mean, it's our mascot, but anyway. And that's incredible. I mean, once the people are inside our community and you start engaging and talk to them, we always say, like, to convert a client, you need about 7 interactions through different touch points. Before social media, before digitalization, those 7 points can take forever. You need to go through a magazine, maybe they go in a store, then maybe you meet them, maybe they see somebody wearing it. Then after months or years, eventually maybe they buy a product. Today, once somebody is in your database through maybe Instagram or TikTok or whatever, a few newsletters, maybe they come on their website, and it goes extremely quickly. So the power is incredible. And I think that's what leveled the field between the major brands that we see out there and the smaller brands like us. Yeah.
And it's always a surprise. I remember one morning we wake up and Kendall Kardashian drink tequila from our glass 100% Capri without tag. And under the glass was 100% Capri. And I remember that week was like the major week of just glass. And all my people say, why we don't turn our company to the glass and not linen anymore? I say, glass is just part of our lifestyle. And we were lucky. Thanks to Kardashian, they drink this tequila. But for sure, the social media, it's exciting.
We had one question back there. Is that Hamza? Hi, Hamza. How you doing?
Thank you. Question for Mark. Who is the best dressed man in the world, and why is it you? No, my question is for Edouard and around the timelessness of brand strategy. When I think about some of the most notable and sort of long-lived and perhaps the most directly related to the product branding decisions you've made to, for example, not put Swiss made on the dial, it seems to be in opposition to what everybody else is doing because there is this obsession with being Swiss made. Same thing with not putting your brand logo front and center on the dial because that is something that everyone else is obsessed with doing. How much of your branding strategy, as it appears from the outside, is truly based on wanting to be in opposition to what you see as the status quo? And do you consider that to be a sustainable strategy for the long term, if it is in fact the way that you think about branding for Moser as a company?
Wow. Trying to look back. I always said there's a few decisions you make in the life of a brand that really change or transform a brand like Moser. It's always difficult to know which one these are. It's probably 5 of them. But anyway, it was interesting a few years ago when I did the exercise that I mentioned in the beginning of putting those different watches next to each other and removing the logo and realizing we couldn't recognize our own products. Because that was a strong statement of how difficult the journey would be to transforming this brand into a success. But we always had this idea of what is a true luxury product. And for me, I always compared it to art. For me, art has always been like the source of inspiration. And when you look at a beautiful painting, let's take Picasso. A beautiful Picasso, of course, there's technique. Of course, there's something on there. But one, it's not that particular piece that might be representative or that might be that might be beautiful on its own. It's because of what he did before and it's what he did after. And it's not even about the signature. It's really like looking at the masterpiece of Picasso that makes this particular painting special. And when I think of watchmaking and every single watch that we create, I think of it as an art piece. And I'm trying to think, how does this watch fit compared to what we've done in the past, and people understanding where we come from and what we will be doing in the future, and really treating them as art. And I remember doing once a presentation or a keynote where I put a can of Coca-Cola, which is just the red with the I mean, there's no it doesn't say Coke or Coca-Cola on it. And I said, that's what I want to be, and that's my dream. The day we can build this, like people recognize this, it's a can, like it could be anything, but everybody knows it's Coca-Cola, it's Coke. Then we have achieved something. And I think it's going back to the codes we defined before. For me, a brand you should be able to hold a product in your hands or look at it and understand it, why it's a Moser and why it fits and why it was created at that moment in time. That's where we go back to timelessness. I hope one day people look back to a certain product we made and they realize why at that moment we thought and we created that piece. I remember when we launched the Swiss Alp watch, a lot of people thought it was just a joke. There's not a single day today. We stopped it 5 years ago, maybe now. We haven't done any anymore. There's not a single day without somebody asking me, when are you going to do another one? Or can I buy one? At that point, people thought it was just a joke. I think nowadays, it's seen as one watch that is maybe iconic of a moment. And it's iconic, but at the same time, it's part of what Moser stands for. If we are the Mavericks today, it's because we did that watch that day. And maybe we did the Swiss Mad watch a year later, and it contributed to that. So I want to see a brand as people understanding because of the masterpiece, and the same way we would look, and it's a very pretentious what I'm saying, the way you would look at everything Picasso did, for example. I'm not sure it answers your question, but I hope so.
I already forgot your question. There's only 5 minutes left. I just want to see if there's any. Was there? Please.
Thank you guys for the talk. Edouard, this is for you. You talked about the past, you talked about the future, but on a personal level, can you enjoy the present without having to worry about what's to come?
In 2012 we took over Moser, which was bleeding money. We thought, we made an investment. Our predecessors put some money to try to salvage whatever was possible, and it was not enough. And 2013 we burnt all of that. 2014 was a nightmare. I remember where we couldn't pay salaries. We were like, who do we pay first? Our suppliers would call us like, you need to pay something. It's 120 days late. So when you go through those phases, and today we are very healthy, no debt, good cash, very profitable company with an amazing pipeline, building this new factory that we can finance ourselves, good products what we're developing, even looking like 3, 4, 5 years ahead. Of course, there's a lot of uncertainty. Of course, we don't know where the world is going to be, but having lived those times, I think I'm pretty confident right now and really enjoying what we're living now. I would have never thought. Some people ask me, like, would you have thought that Moser would become what it is? I think it was a dream. We definitely had the ambition. I thought we would be better, faster, but I would have never thought I would live a time like now. I think the golden age of independent brands is amazing. I definitely don't want to go back to where we were. I think there's amazing years in front of us, but as I said before, it's sometimes small decisions that you only find out afterwards that makes the difference. And I think in the last few years we took the right decisions in most of the cases. I hope we continue to do that. And definitely looking forward to what's for us in the near future and enjoying the moment.
Antonino, are you enjoying life?
I enjoy.
Are you enjoying the moment?
I enjoy the moment. I enjoy the life, actually.
You seem like I enjoy the moment.
I enjoy the moment. I enjoy Dubai. From here, I go to South Africa. From South Africa to St. Martin. Coming from Capri.
I have to say, I'm pretty envious of the way you built the business. You just go from all the best places in the world. It sounds pretty wonderful.
Enjoy, and actually, I make the company which all the people who work in the company they enjoy. And they see the future of a changing of lifestyle inside the company and make 360 degree they enjoy. So, and this is the resulting of the product, of the quality product for sure.
Fantastic. Okay, one last one and then we're really done. Because I know everyone's got meetings and stuff.
Just a small hypothetical for you both, because it sounds like these are really two brands that enjoy their freedom of being independent. So switch it. What do you think, in the same way you could ask, let's say, a single person, what do you think you're missing by not being married? What do you think you're missing by not being part of a group? Antonino, you say your partner is Laura Piano, they're part of LVMH now. They enjoy the powers of the, that comes with that. Edouard, you're still independent. One day, as a legacy for your kids, maybe it's better to be part of a group. So each one independently, what do you think you're missing out by being independent?
Okay. Today, after 25 years, is just the beginning, but I see, the shopping mall 20 years ago, they say, I have a great location for you. Where? Next to the toilet. People go to the toilet there. Like it's not. And you see always this beautiful brand, Gucci and Vuitton. But today the market is changed. The game is changed. Game is changed. Company, company of our dimension, they have an opportunity today to have a prime location. For sure 10 years ago now. So this opportunity make us more confident and not depend from this big group. So today we're not part from the big group. The big group, they are great. They are beautiful. They have great management. They're super successful. They make great product, but it's different strategy, okay? This is family business. It's business. My dream is to make 200-year company after I meet this great, successful gentleman. And 200 years is a big number, but in the same time it's possible. So why not? And if tomorrow my kids, they have to speak with a big group, they can be different vision of the company or different direction. And to give the responsibility, all the responsibility, because sometimes too, why we need this money. I remember I was sitting with this successful guy, 87 years, in the boat, and someone offered us another 100 million to grow it, to expand. And he looked at me, I never forget this moment. He said, Tony, why you need all this money? For what? He said, think to work, focus to grow a brand. So not in a company and make numbers. It's a brand. So we have to decide if we want to create a brand or we want to make a number. So our direction, 100% is to create a brand. So not, there is no dependence. In the same time, they are great, we are great, everybody is happy, and we continue our history, our story.
Well said. And Edouard, group or no group?
Well,
Or are you going to be the group? Or are you going to eat someone else up?
I would love to. I think the ambition would be to slowly become a small group. We have a few investments. We have Outlance as part of we have precision engineering. We invested in Aiello. And we have the mission, if we continue to grow like this, to maybe, I love brands in general, so it would be interesting to try to reproduce. But it's not one-trick pony. It's always a little bit difficult. What I miss not being part of a group, to be honest, sometimes as we are 120, 100, a little bit more now, people, it's sometimes, and maybe I'm not sure if there's a lot of people on my team here, probably not. It's when you're small like that, it's sometimes the certain talents, the intellectual challenge. It relies right now on only a handful of people, and sometimes you feel like when I look at groups and the intellectual power they have, it's not always good. I mean, sometimes you overthink things, but at the same time, I feel there's sometimes things that either we need to externalize, ask experts outside our company, or it's just a few people around in the core team that have to take care of that, and it can put a lot of pressure on a handful of people. And I feel in a big group, you have so many smart people, young people, old people, experiences that you can pick and choose, build teams. And certain projects, I'm like, I need external help because I don't have the resources to do it. But at the same time, we're super lean and we are super reactive. So you cannot have it all.
Fantastic. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, gentlemen, for this wonderful conversation.
Thank you, Mark.
Round of applause for yourselves. And enjoy Dubai Watch Week.